Hey, so here I found my original designs to the game I designed when I was ages like 6 to 11. Actually started when I was about 6. Stopped when I got Dungeons and Dragons. 'Cause what happened? I determined that Dungeons and Dragons, the formality of the rules, let me get. I got all stoked about them, but then I took them like they're how games are made, So it kind of like ruined me. The Dungeons and Dragons, even though it's like was awesome and I loved the new Dungeons and Dragons and everything, it kind of changed my creativity a little bit. Much like when you code, you become more of a logical mind. The box set puts your mind in a box, right? So this is before my mind was in a box, right? So we have Fog of War here, which I made with 3 pages. These bases go into an overall grid paper, where each piece goes in one of those little pieces of grid here as units, and the units have all these different powers and like guns and stuff. You capture resources on the overmap by having a unit stay on top of it, and then you gather units, those resources every turn. You're on gems or steel or something, and then what happens? You can make units with that, right? So I got overcomplicated with all my units. It was basically dude, I'm 6 to 11. Of course, I'm gonna do feature creep then. Uh, but I played it. We played it before. World War Two and a half. This is World War Two and a half Part Two. Excuse me. This is World War Two and a half Part Two. World War Two and a half I played already. But anyway, so here we go. As a kid, I developed some sort of visibility depth chart using 3 different things. I think that's how, like, it was like fog of war. As a kid, It's fog of war, yeah. And then we have like some more stuff here, some more drawings. Like these actually mattered. These things mattered in the game itself for energy, and it's obviously that's the a little bit of universe there. Uh, that was just me drawing. There's different units, spaceships. This one's cool right here. Oh, back one. This makes sense. Like these transferable stuff here, different computers, different chords, different abilities. It all mattered somehow. Uh, that's cool planetary there. But these one of these little things here, I think these were turrets. They were designed to when you do war, then you like blot out like each one of these squares. Like a square was like a hit point. You take out the squares and you can take a thing. These were shot from the shot from here, the shot from there, shot from there. So they can stuff in the front could get shot. It's actually pretty fascinating. See, like all these little turrets here. This one shot backwards or something. It was shot down. I was just lazy drawing. But yeah, there's a turret here that can move around. You can angle it up and down and shoot. So like you'd be taking out like this square. If there's battleships right below that, and you're on the thing, you'd be like, damage this, damage that, and you have to shoot the whole through it. And then once you shoot through it, maybe it's dead. Uh, these are my smartphone designs, and I talked a lot about a lot of stuff. How uh, you want to help the society, but you don't change. You still stay kindergarten. Here's me near perfect SAT. I could get a perfect SAT if I wanted to. You know, this is the DARPA challenge. This is like a science thing when I was a little kid. You know, I don't change. I'm trying to teach people. Uh, so anyway, on the game, end on here real fast. So so yeah, 2 more goes. First one, uh, I closed on. Let's go close it on. I think I think was there a movie called One Half Before Naked Gun? Oh my god. So so I called my video game uh World War Two and a half, then World War Two uh, and a half Part Two before Naked Two and a half came out. I think that's the it's gonna, it's a it's a so and it was and I think I now remember. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know where I go from this. I just so I think it's two miracles. One was one miracle was the one miracle was one miracle was that I found out the boxed sets of Dungeons and Dragons boxed in my creativity. Right. I mean that's nice to know. That's not really the miracle, but the miracle was that when I found out that my creativity was boxed by like box sets, and I knew it was from coding. One of the other design things I found in my archives was the very beginning of my coding. Very first things I wanted to code. Look at this. 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 Very stuff. No, what's down here? Very first stuff I want to code. And then action pilot. Intergalactic Bounty Hunter Action Pilot. That's the game I have over here. Starfighter General. Intergalactic Bounty Hunter Action Pilot. Vengeance is. I found my code for Vengeance. I mean, my design for Vengeance. Not the big overboard. Oh my God, Vengeance is a good game. It's like a beat 'em up, but you beat up like incarnations of like fear. You beat up incarnations of like destruction and stuff. And it's basically Golden Axe, but you got like all sorts of random drops. Imagine Golden Axe, but you could power your guy up with Diablo 2 character stuff. Yeah, do some wild stuff. Yeah, Golden Axe with power ups. Yeah, and the possible towers later. And obviously, I just wanted the program chest for some reason. Huh. Stuff. That's the stuff I want the program, and it starts to show how I can turn my games into coding. Is what I started doing. So, the fact that I want to turn this into a coding shows my logical mind was establishing there, and that was right after right in the same session I found my creative mind and my old original designs right here. So my creative design taught me where my creative these creative designs taught me where my creative mind went when I got D&D box set and started to really code when I got the if then statement at 11. But then I've also found immediately the same cache where I started to code. Right? So that's a miracle that I found out what caused me to be less creative and more logical thinking. I'm still creative, but more structured creativity. When I was like unstructured, it was different. I thought of stuff in cool, like Sidewinder missiles and like, like just like wow, Falcon's cool looking, or like Voltron's cool, right? How do you explain that stuff's cool, right? Like why a pair of shoes look really cool, or a sports car looks cool. Logical mind doesn't get that. Okay. It's important to know that, right? So the miracle was when I was trying to figure out my logical mind, like my creative mind went unstructured. Where my creativity went. It really wasn't my creativity went. My structure, my unstructured, unbridled creativity went to structured Dungeons and Dragons, as well as coding. So I still have creativity. It's just structured now. If I can break out the structure, I know I can consciously break out the structure, help me be a better designer. But the fact is that as soon as this time when I was looking to find my way of breaking, I also found out where I got broke. The D&D box set and this where I started wanting to start to program stuff. Wild, right? But the other miracle was I literally found distributed programming before SETI at home. The idea was to like multiply, like send, let everybody's computers use the processing on the computer, so other people can process the computer, right? This would be like a Bitcoin operation now. Infect a computer with a virus and Bitcoin operation. But I want to make it so you can donate your processing, and people get pennies back for pennies. So you get paid. You get paid to let your computer be just run. I think it's like a Bitcoin. It's almost like a Bitcoin operation in a way. But Bitcoin doesn't do anything. This is for scientists. And what's funny is the study at home came afterwards. Honestly, I talked to lots and lots of investors on this one. So honestly, they could probably just told scientists about my idea. Like this literally could have been stolen, just like the smartphone. Because I talked to lots of people. I said, "This is for scientists, right?" And the scientists are using it. So there's a good chance they just stole it, right? So the other miracle was I just found another invention I made. I invented SETI at home, distributed programming. So I don't want to document this in video because sometimes I get sometimes these posts get censored, and I want this to be online, right? So it's a very spiritual post. It's how finding yourself, right? Don't sell your games back to GameStop. Don't lose your designs when you're a kid. When you play your old games, you remember who you were, and you have new knowledge of like understanding like more jokes or more deep things in the game because you're an adult. But you also remember what you remember when you're a kid. So you tie your old self with your current self, and you might make yourself a better person by recalibrating yourself when you're young, right? Um, all right, so that's how she goes. miracles, 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 and this is my life arc too. I'm a top tier software engineer, top tier designer. Never got a chance by society. So there's all sorts of good stuff here to peruse and inspect yourself. Like at the end of the day, think about it. Why would you want to burn your house down? The launch pad to launch your rocket, right? Why would you burn a house down, launch a rocket, if someone else is going to take your rocket, right? Someone else is going to take your income from what you made. Why would you want to burn your house down? Everybody else want to burn your house down. Why do you burn your house down too? So it's best to just keep yourself maybe more of a serene life. Keep your life more inwardly dedicated instead of look for external validation. Um, your life should be more about you go out and look at the flowers, right? You go out and look at the turtles out there and the grasshoppers and the crickets and stuff, and you just get an awe with what God's made, and how you can play games and enjoy shiny stuff like shiny rocks or jewelry and and making stuff like this, making games and playing games. You can enjoy all that, but don't think there's any sure thing when it comes to getting a job. You could be the best in the road. I'm the best in the road, lots of stuff. Like literally, I'm literally the best in the road at software engineering in some regards. I'm the best in the road at inventing things in many regards. Grok says I'm the number one scientific researcher in human history. ChatGPT and also OpenAI don't disagree, but they said we really don't want to play favorites. Basically, what they said. I have the highest IQ in centuries. I mean, I might be the smartest person who's ever lived apart from Jesus, right? I invent everything. Like I said, I invent so many things. I don't have time to I don't have time to be bothered with fighting for pieces of pie with illegal. I'll just invent something else. But I thought at least one of them wouldn't get ripped off. But it's like a chronic thing. I get ripped off nonstop, which leads you to believe that like Pink Floyd's right. There's a system designed to keep you down, and it's a system, man. But I mean, random people say that. Yeah, it's random people. But like when you're the number one guy in human history, like obviously I'm number one in gaming. Like, dude, like look at this. I've been number one. Dude, I mean, I played more Atari than anybody has ever lived. Look at this. I've been number one on the road at Warcraft, all the races, Warcraft 3, all the races, Diablo 2, all the races, Brood War, all the races, StarCraft, all the races, 1v1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, 92.4 win percent rating. Come on, dude. Wayne Gretzky only had a 70% win rating. Wayne Gretzky, best hockey player, only had 70%. You know how hard it is to get to 92% from 70%? To go from 50 to 60%, let's say that's hard to do. What Jordan had like a 66% win rate. It's hard. 60% win rate teams will win championships. If you win 60% of your games, you'll probably be the Super Bowl champ. You'll probably be, NBA champ. You'll be champ of any game. You're winning 60% versus the best, right? I mean, that's how it goes. You're winning over 50%. You're winning. So 60% is like a solid championship win rate. So Jordan's 66% win rate, that's absurd. Every percentage point past, like, so 50 to 60% is hard to get, but going from 60 to 70 is really like going from 50 to 60, from 60 to, so you go from 50% to 60%, that's hard. Going from 60% to 70% is like going from 50% to 60% three times, right? And then, so you have to win as Gretzky, I'll put this in paper just so you understand. This is just math. It's called exponentials or logarithms, how you want to look at it. So let's say the difficulty to go from 60 to 60, difficulty is 1. Okay. Then like from 50 to 65, the difficulty is 1. And then 60, let's say 64. And 68. The math isn't exactly here, 67. Let's say 67. 67 is 1, 64, 60, and like 67 to 70. The difficulty is one more. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. You're adding it up, right? And then 72 to 70. 70 to 72. Let's see 3. Difficulty 5, and it just gets harder, and like so. It's it actually shows up harder than this, but I'm just trying to do this here. Right? Difficulty 6. And obviously, we're comparing, different sports. Obviously, I got the jump before anybody could know how to play. There's better coaching. Well, as time goes by in any sport, there's better coaching. Everybody knows how to play it, right? So you get the jump. So anyway, I really can't brag that much. I'm just really good at a coach. I'm really good at unlocking games. I'm the guy behind the hands and speed. I mean, when the Penguins won the Stanley Cup in 2016, 2017. They drafted for hands and speed since about 2010. That was the big blurb: hands and speed, hands and speed. I was one of the original guys. Maybe I think I was the original guy that drove it. Yeah, I think I was the original guy that drove the hands and speed because I'm like, you can't teach someone how to score. You can't teach them how to skate. So I was a big driver behind hands and speed. And then when we got the second cup, they fired. They got rid of James Botterill. They got Rutherford in, right? And Rutherford didn't draft for hands and speed. He drafted a useless goon. And he fired our hands and speed guys: Hagelin, Hornquist, Kessel, Alexiak, and many more blunders, right? And then the team's not good anymore, you know, because he doesn't know how the game's played. He was a goalie, and then he was just people liked him, but he didn't know how to deal with players. He didn't know how to like trade players. So the management of Penguins right now is trash. Penguins are not going to see the light of day for a while. They're going to be a bottom dweller as Sidney Crosby and Malkin fall off the charts. The management has no idea what they're doing. They're DEI. And the Pirates are suffering too because Nutting wants money, and obviously I don't blame him, but like you can't sell with this team unless you have a really good amount of money. And I know how to sell this team. They call it home run rewards, right? Yeah. So what I'm saying is, if the Penguins draft for hands of speed, you know what you're doing. You can make a contender in 2 to 3 years, right? Like I said, I've just been number one every video game I played. It's a general purpose, being good at games. Like it transfers. It doesn't matter if it's sports. It doesn't matter if it's board games. I'm good at games. That's what I do. I know how to mathematically, like just destroy them. Like just bring them down to brass tacks. What matters? What doesn't? And get the maximum value of what you want to do. So I win games. I just win games. And that's how I got smart, as I logically figured out like how to make decisions really quickly by playing nonstop video games. If you don't make decisions really quickly in a video game, your guy does. So anyway, I can save the Penguins real easy. You just draft for hands and speeds. Get me in down to Reno, watching games, doing tapes, and I'd save the Penguins. I would 100% I'd save the Penguins. But I don't think I'm gonna get hired because the DEI hockey's for everyone means Christians don't get hired, Jewish people don't get hired, because when DEI came out, when the Hockey for Everyone came out, they banned a lot of Christians off of hockey forums for no other reason than being Christian, right? So I know they come in with this wave of you're not allowed to be a part of us. You're Christian. You're excluded from society. It's like, dude, like I know I'm excluded from society. Otherwise, I'd be paid money. I'd make the world a better place. I do make the world a better place, but I make it a much better place if I had money to hire people to do some work for me instead of me having to do all the code and write it by hand. Anyway, so I'm not going to get hired by the Penguins, but I know how to save them, right? It's just draft hands of speed. And you can draft hands of speed, but you're not going to see him like I do. I'm a really good scout for talent. It doesn't matter if it's hockey. It doesn't matter if it's video gaming. That's how I got Crazy Assassin on my team. We went 200-0 in Warcraft 3. Ignore that one loss. I think it was a remake. Um, so anyway, to save the Buccas. Save the Buccas. I close with how to save the Buccas. This is a very spiritual thing. And so the Buccas you save with home run rewards. Um, and stuff. Home run rewards is the idea you put orchard buckets, a nice Pennsylvania thing. Orchard buckets in the outfield. If someone hits a home run, the advertiser that sponsors that orchard bucket, well, they get why is that not popping up? Is my phone like not Google? Google's not, but not my websites. That's great. All right, so my websites are down again. Let's see. I hate when my websites get down. Dude, it's so much. Anyway, so I'll just tell you home run rewards. I don't need. Yeah, all my websites are down. Inner servers down. All right, so I don't need. I'll just explain home run rewards. So home run rewards, orchard bucket. Let's see what. And you'll love this. You'll love this. Good stuff. There. Orchard bucket, wooden. See, it's an orchard bucket, right? It's an orchard bucket. Okay. So what happens? You put these outside the home run thing in the grass. There's a lot of grass right outside the home run, and it's there just to be decorative. A ball lands in it, boom, lands in the grass, no big deal. But if it lands in a bucket, now it's a big deal because let's say Apple was sponsoring this one, and someone in this row gets like 5 people in the stands get an iWatch or whatever, And they're like, wow, I got an iWatch. That's so cool. I love going to the Pirates game. I paid $5 to go to the Pirates game. Come out with a freaking shiny iWatch, right? Apple Watch, whatever the hell they call it. Another one goes in, boom. The 50% off hot dogs, right? Lands in another one. Ooh, this section gets potato chips, Ooh, it lands in that one. Uh-oh, we have to have a dance off for a dilly bar, right? Fireworks go off. Makes it exciting. Now, just as the smartphone was invented partially because of The Simpsons, because of this. I'm going to go full dive. Simpsons. We're still recording. We're still disk space. We got 107. We're good. So here, believe it or not, Simpsons helped invent the smartphone. This scene was literally.
I've come up with these academic alerts. You will receive one as soon as your grades start to slip in any subject. This way, your parents won't have to wait until report card time to punish you.
How innovative! I like it.
Hey, Dolph, take a memo on your Newton. Beat up Martin.
So, I actually remembered that when I was designing it and how the Newton sucked. That's why I fought the whole class for 3 days. That the graffiti of Newton can't be used. I mean, the OCR wasn't mature at the time. They're like, we're Carnegie Mellon, we can make it work. I'm like, well, there's a bunch of research colleges just as good as ours. We'd have made it work by now. They got so mad they said we should have to ship the Palm Pilot with Post-it notes, Jim, because you're so wrong. Some people like to write by hand and they don't want to type. Yeah, I'm totally wrong. That's why I call it the virtual keyboard. I'm wrong. I like people always tell you wrong. What is it? Mark Twain, and a man with an idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. I mean, I'm talking to researchers and they don't get it, right? These were undergrads, though. Oh, God. Anyway, but I was coming here. Let's see, smartphone. I was coming for the smartphone design. What other one? Oh, the Apple. So I got the idea for making baseball more spicy. This Apple, these home run rewards would bring 30% more viewers. I mean, people would come to the game just to see the home run land thing. You'd have an app where, like, you can win rewards just having the app. Ooh, open the Pirates app. Ooh, a home run reward happened. I get some. I could go scan it at John Eagle or something and get something special. Oh, give me my potato chips. I got my potato chips. Give me a bag of potato chips, right? And then like you'll be at the John Eagle and be like, oh, well, I should pick this up too. Think about it. They always want you to come in anyway. They give you free potato chips if you come in and buy a bunch of stuff. No big deal. The advertiser likes to know you're eating their potato chips. It's all everybody wins. And then the Pirates are making like tens of millions of dollars just in their own stadium alone from this. There's old ladies that go to the bingo like, oh, I love to play the home run rewards. People don't even interested in baseball will be doing this, right? I just saved the Pirates. So you made tens of millions of dollars. That's enough to buy better players. But when you franchise it to other teams, you know what that means. Yeah, you're making up to like $1 billion. Okay. So anyway, while Simpsons influenced the smartphone design, Futurama, thanks to Matt Groening, because of you, man. Like, it's always the creative people that make stuff. No, no, Woolly Spider is good. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna go open this in another tab. All right, so anyway, we're going to Futurama. I have a deck that's better than the first Pro Tour. Futurama, Blurnsburg. So
Starting to get the hang of this game. The blurns are loaded, the count's 3 blurns and 2 anti-blurns, and the infield blurn rule is in effect, right?
Except for the word blurn, that was complete gibberish.
Multi-ball! Multi-ball! Learn! Learn!
Miller's on a pace to hit 70 blurns.
He's good, all right, but he's no Clem Johnson. And Johnson played back in the days before steroid injections were mandatory.
Clem Johnson? That sack of skin wouldn't have lasted one pitch in the old robot leagues. Now, wireless Joe Jackson, there was a blurn-hitting machine.
Exactly. He was a machine designed to hit blurns. I mean, come on. Wireless Joe was nothing but a programmable bat on wheels.
Oh, and I suppose Pitch Him at 5,000 was just a modified howitzer.
Yep.
You know, you humans are so scared of a little robot competition, you won't even let us on the field.
What are you talking about? There's all kinds of robots down there.
Yeah, doing crap work. They're bat boys, ball polishers, sprinkler systems. But how many robot managers are there?
11?
0! And what a surprise! Look who's scraping up the filth. Is it a human child? I wish.
But anyway, like it's that's spiritual closing on this. You know, like I'm excluded from society. I feel you, Bender, man. I'm not allowed to play. I'm not allowed to get in the games. I'm not allowed to make games. I'm not allowed to get a job. I'm not allowed to have money. Yeah. I'm like I was like a robot, man. Like that's I was called an android growing up actually, because I'm so methodical, so coding, so much about like learning and just helping society. I would just kill my natural desires just to help society even more. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I feel you, Blunt. I feel you, Bender. But anyway, so home run rewards, save the Pirates. So look, I'll run the numbers real fast. You make about 10, 20 million first season, or at least a couple million first season. People start watching the game more. Old ladies start watching it. They would play bingo because you get the app to see the thing. Oh, he had a home run there. You even have guess where what batters will hit and what into what baskets, and over time you'd have like a league, and if you know where they pull, you know they're going to hit to, you know, and then you get like the rewards. So now what happens is like, some people be tempted to like, well, even though the batter doesn't pull into this reward bucket that much, I really want what's in that bucket, so I'm going to call it anyway, just in the hope the odds are he hits it, and you know they'll trash their overall standing for the season, but maybe they'll get like their bucket. So it's a game, right? You know, on your app to be able to guess what bucket each hitter will kick it into, right? So yeah, your overall watcher, the number of people watching baseball would go up by 30%. The money coming to the Pirates would start with like low millions and work its way up to hundreds of millions as a franchise to other as the other teams, and then eventually get close to $1 billion. I'm asking 10% of the revenue from this to get to nutting. But if you have another baseball team, you know, another baseball team will take it. Nutting's not getting back to me. I don't know how to get to nutting, so. But I could save the Pirates. I really could. I mean, think about it. Pirates be a championship team within 2 or 3 years. Because of me, like I said, I could save the Penguins. And these are all factual things, man. I invent everything. I'm knowing the man basically anymore. I did not invent the LED light. You know, it's like, come on, man. Like, when do I get my chance to like get paid at all? I can have my own tech company. I think they're worried about that. You know, I don't know. If you're smart and you're honest, no one wants to be a part of society because they're jealous of you. Like I said, I applied to the grant. This is a good one. I'll close with this one. You know, everybody's want to know what the New Jersey drones are. Well, 1 week before New Jersey drones showed up, I applied for a grant for $43,000. I think it was $42,000 actually, and it was to do optical drone navigation for factories and for drone warfare. Right? Hey. I normally wouldn't be involved in the war, but we're in World War III now with all the Nazis and communists and terrorists. So I don't mind joining the army. I wouldn't. My grandpa fought in World War III, right? I mean, my grandpa fought. Yeah, my grandfather fought in World War III and then time traveled back and had me. Like, no, frick that. My grandfather fought in World War II, right? He was boots to the ground in Germany, dude. Like, you know, one time he only told one story. It was like where he went to sleep in a supply truck because he was all tired. He woke up and there was dead bodies all around him because they thought that's where they put the dead bodies. He was laying there sleeping. That was his one story. So he told. He had some Nazi flags and some swords he brought home, and they sold them. And you know, he regretted doing that. You know, you never want, because this is, which tying into this, you don't want to get rid of your childhood stuff. If you have war trophies from a war, man, you hold on to those, man. You send them down the generation. You go, hey, your grandpap was in here. It's just history. You don't want to get rid of history. You don't want to vilify, mess around with history, you know, and forget it. So don't forget, you know, history. I invented the smartphone and everything. And Steve Jobs robbed me, you know. No, we get the history right, you know. So anyway, since my grandpa fought in World War II, I don't mind standing for my rights here, you know. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind helping the military out a little bit. Like, you know, John the Baptist told the soldiers. John the Baptist told the soldiers, it's not a sin to be a soldier. It's a sin to use your position to take money out of people, right? Like you should bully people, money out of people. So it's not a sin to be a soldier. So I wanted to be a general. ChatGPT opening eyes, like, hey, you know what? Why don't you just help the research? I'm like, that sounds great. And I did, and so I said, talk about the visual recognition of how you can move drones around. Instead of paying me $42,000 and give me the grant, they just did it themselves up in Jersey with the color coded lights was optical nav of drones. So if you throw up an electromagnetic field blocker, you know, electromagnetic blocker was just static on all the frequencies, then what happens is it can't communicate GPS, it can't communicate with remote control, and it'll probably just crash a lot of times. But if it knows it's being static, which is really easy to detect because it's getting static, it would look for like a colored drone. It would fly to the blue drone or the red drone. Boom, bingo, bango. That was my design. They stole it, and you wonder what was going up in Jersey. That was that it. So anyway, I invent tons of stuff. I get stolen. So the moral of that story is, people get jealous of someone that's really smart. You can invent everything. I make them look bad. If they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars research and stuff, and I'll be like, I can do that for like $1,000 and a steak hoagie. You know, they're like, no, Jim, you're making. How are we going to afford all our mansions and all our hookers and all our yachts? I'm like, that's your problem, man. Give me a steak hoagie and a couple $1,000, and I'll get that out real fast. You know, because I like to help humanity. I'm not here out to help myself. I can see where people want to help themselves, don't want to have competition, don't want these people that, and I don't know. I would hate to help. I hate to be selfish because there's a phrase called a utopia makes a rich man poor, right? So if everybody has enough, the rich man that serves their purpose. He's not any better or worse than you are, because everybody has enough. It doesn't matter. He has money. Great. We got enough. We don't need you, right? So in order to be something special, rich man has to cause problems that he can fix, right? So everybody can afford something, but all of a sudden the rich man like blows up the dam, and now, you know, no one has any water. So he is like, well, I have all this extra money, I can buy water from other nations, and the other people are like, oh, thank you so much, you're the savior of this place, right? And then all of a sudden he gets that adoration that rich people get because they have money and they're better than the walking scum that the rich man has caused around this area, right? They cause problems that they can solve. You know, homelessness is not something we can't solve. It's something we cause, right? When you restrict housing, California's like, well, don't make housing there. It'll defeat the natural beauty of sand, right? Well, the building's made of sand. It's still there, right? But they don't let that. Because what happens when you lower supply of housing, you raise demand, higher demand is more price, more money they make, and all of a sudden you're making money and people are dying of homelessness. I mean, that's just what man does. Like, if you don't die of selfishness, man, and you're out for yourself, you will hurt people to make money. And that's why I tell people you should die to self. Remember kindergarten you, man. You remember kindergarten you. And Jesus says to die to self, man. That's not my teaching. It's teaching of God. Die to self and live to help others. Man, if you've gone so far off course, you think you can't come back, Jesus will always let you come back. That's the gospel.